Hello, my name is Michael Krops, and today we're going to talk about the Ansible automation platform, an offering from Red Hat Software, and we're going to compare it to standard open source Ansible. Ansible can be a game changer. It can help you increase productivity by giving you access to automation tools to automate the network, routers, switches, firewalls. It can help you automate Unix, Linux server administration, Windows server administration, software installation. The problem arises when you start to scale it out and it starts to grow in the company. It starts to become a monster in and of itself, actually hurting productivity, the very thing you started using Ansible to help with. We're going to look at three problem areas. Role-based access control, or the lack thereof on standard Ansible, which can lead to security risks and unauthorized changes. The lack of a centralized login and management process, which can be a nightmare for compliance and auditing. The lack of integration with tools such as GitHub and CyberArk, which is a privileged account management system. I'm going to outline these issues, show you how the Ansible automation platform can actually help solve some of these problems. And I'm going to do that via a short demo, just going to go through, scratch the surface here, and show you a workflow process where we're going to have a junior admin run a job, and he's going to have to get approval after he submits the job. So let's get started. Okay, we've now restored my CentOS image back to where it was before so that we can run the automation platform. And let's take a look here. Let's just make sure BTOP, nope, not installed. Ansible not installed. So now let's take a look first at the GUI here. You can see right away, this is going to be much more helpful if you've got new employees that have no Ansible training. It's going to be much easier to get them up in speed and explain to them how to run jobs from this interface. If we take a look here under jobs, you can see you have a centralized login of all the jobs that were run. And the nice thing with this is, with role-based access, you can give read-only access to your administrators, your managers. You can give access where only the jobs that, say, the server team ran will show up, so that they're not seeing, the network teams and everybody else's. You can also come down here. If you come down here, you can define teams. I don't have any defined in this environment. I just have a junior admin, but you can define teams, your network team, your server team, your Windows server team. If I click here under JAdmin, you can kind of see here where I defined a role, and this person only has access to stage the CentOS servers. You can also create schedules from this platform without having to manually edit cron files and all that nonsense. You can have workflow approvals. You can see right here, this is we're going to talk about when I have the JAdmin run this job. He's going to have to run this job with admin approval. The credential management, whether or not you have a PAM system like CyberArk or not, you can manage all your credentials from this location. Here is where I have the SSH credentials for my Unix servers. Now let's take a look at the inventories files. You can see here this is going to be similar to how you define an inventory INI file in standard Ansible. We're going to have, here we have Debian servers, which are mostly my Raspberry Pis. You have the CentOS server, which is the one we're going to be working with, this one. And if you look under hosts, you can see all the hosts. And if I come under the JAdmin, let's take a look at this. Right away, if you go to the dashboard, you don't see much. The only thing this person is seeing is the approvals for the jobs they've run. And they don't see the projects because they're not going to be allowed to edit what are called projects. They can see the users, but they're not going to be able to make changes to them. The only thing is, we go under templates. A template is, think of this as when you run a workbook from the command line, you're going to be instead on the platform running what's called a template. And this person only has access to staged OS, CentOS servers. Whereas this case, I have a list of templates under the admin. I can see all the templates that are runnable on this system. I mentioned projects before. The projects is going to be where you set up things like where you grab the playbooks from. You can see here, source control is pointing to the GitHub page. I'm going to come in here, and if I look under CentOS, this is the same playbook we looked at before. If we make changes to this, you have to commit the changes. This is a version control system, which is going to be key in preventing bad YAML files from being put onto your system and running and creating downtime. So just having the version control ability makes it so much safer when you're talking about automation and running files to do automation work. If you make changes, you would just press sync, and it will sync and grab those files from the GitHub page. So now let's take a look at what we have to do for a junior admin to come in and run this job. The junior admin is going to come in here, and they are going to click on the one job they have the ability to run. They're going to click, they're going to come down here and click launch. Now notice right away, what does it do? It says it's running, but look, there's a pause for admin approval before it actually goes through and does the CentOS server setup. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go look under the workflow approvals, and I see one is waiting. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to say approve. And you can now see that the job is running. You can go in the admin, you can see it's running here. Notice there are two. That's because this is a workflow job, which actually calls out this job, which is actually the CentOS job that is doing the upgrade. But if I click on the job that's running, you can see the output. You can see it's running, just like over here you've seen the progression as it was running the job. You can see that here as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause and let it run, and then we'll come back and see the results. Okay, now that the job is finished, you can see it's ran and it's been successful. And again, you can have your managers or administrators that maybe aren't here to automate the servers, but maybe they're just here to do auditing. And you can see it was launched by admin, it was successful. And if I come to my CentOS server, notice BTOP is now installed and Ansible is installed. So there you go. You can see the benefits of having a centralized platform for an enterprise environment. All right, so in summary, the Ansible automation platform not only helps you automate, but lets you do it securely, with simplicity, and with scalability. I thank you for watching my video, and please feel free to reach out and ping me if you have any questions. Thank you.